Hi everyone, my name is Mittal and I'm from Bombay. I worked as a naturalist for many years in a lodge outskirts of Ranthambore National Park. I now work in Bangalore with a program called Bird Count India, which is nestled under a larger organization called Nature Conservation Foundation. At Bird Count India, we engage with bird watchers across the country and encourage them to upload their bird observations to a global listing platform called eBird. A bit about myself. I was introduced to wildlife watching in 2003, and right from the beginning, I had learned from my mentors to maintain checklists. That is, writing down all the species, birds, butterflies, mammals, etc., that you saw after each trip or outing. I used to dedicatedly sit down every night, no matter how tired I was, and note down the day's sightings. But once the trip was over, I rarely used to go back and look at those notes. Over the years, some of those notes got lost, some got misplaced, some eaten away by termites. But still, the habit of keeping lists continued. In 2013, I found out about eBird and since then have been using it regularly. I was happy to know that my lists are going to help science and conservation. They are not going to get lost, they'll be safely archived, and as you can see, neatly organized. I can look at them anytime I want or download all my observations whenever I want. The exciting part is that a simple bird list can be made into a multimedia list by adding photographs and sound recordings. For those who are new to eBird, I'd like to give a short intro to it. eBird is an online database that collects all birdwatching data collected by people around the world. It acts like a digital diary where you can maintain a list of birds you saw, where you saw, how many you saw, and so on. It was launched in 2002 by the Cornell Lab of Ornithology in the United States of America. And in the last 10 years, it is one of the most popular citizen science programs in the world. In India, around 20,000 bird watchers have uploaded their observations to eBird. In this session, we'll be looking at how to upload your bird observations using the eBird mobile app. However, we'll also recommend to please visit the eBird website and explore the various features it has. To add photos, sound recordings, or to make changes to your list, you'll have to do it through the web portal. But in the field, you can just use the eBird mobile app. We'll soon look at a tutorial on how to use the app. But before that, I'll quickly talk about Bird Count India's website. On our website, you will see bird ID articles, upcoming events and campaigns, birding challenges, profile of bird watchers, and many more things. The eBird platform in India is managed by the Bird Count India. Now let's move to see a tutorial about how to upload your bird observations using the eBird mobile app.
Hi, in this video we'll see how to install and prepare the eBird app before you start entering your bird observations. First, download the latest eBird mobile app. It is freely available on Android from the Play Store. After downloading the app, you'll be prompted to enter your account details. If you already have an eBird account, sign in, otherwise create a new account. Once you have signed it, enter your preferences by going to Settings. Under Species Name Display, choose Common Name. Under Show Common Names, choose English India. You could turn the subspecies button off if you are not familiar with the subspecies. Set distance to kilometers and make sure that the portal is selected to eBird India. After setting your preferences, the next step is downloading a pack. Allow eBird to access your device's location. Then, under Suggested Packs, choose India. Depending on the speed of your internet connection, it may take a few minutes to download the pack. By installing the India pack, you can use the list of birds specific to India. Once the pack is installed, you can travel anywhere in India and the list of Indian bird species will show in your app regardless of the data connection. Your eBird app is now ready and you can start entering your observations. Thank you for watching this and stay tuned to watch the next video on how to submit a checklist using the eBird mobile app.
Entering checklist has become easier with eBird mobile app. The app passes information directly from your smartphone to your eBird account on the web. When you're ready to start boarding, open the app. It will show the date and time you're starting the list. It is recommended to keep the record track option on so that the app will keep a track of your exact birding route, how long you birded, and how far you traveled. Click on Start Checklist. Here you will see a list of species that are likely to be found in that location at that time of the year. Once you find the bird you know by sight or sound, the fastest way to find the species is to start entering here in the quick entry bar. For example, let's say you saw 2 grey herons in a lake. Type 2 followed by the species name. The app will show the species, and when you tap on it, the count and the species both get filled in the list. Let's try another example. I heard a call of spotted dove. I'll type 1 and the species name. Again, I tap on the species and the count and the species both got auto-filled. Another example, 20 spot-billed pelicans. Now, if you noticed, I just typed the count 20 and started typing the word pelican. And when I tap on it, the count and the species name both get selected. In most cases, you don't need to enter the full name of the bird. All you have to do is type the count and then start typing any part of the species name. eBird Mobile will automatically filter your checklist as you type. For example, you saw 14 house sparrows. Type 14, and the moment I type a few words of house sparrow, you will notice that the app is showing me all the likely species that has the word sparrow in it, and all you have to do is select the species that you saw. Using this trick, let's enter a few more species. I saw 5 large-billed crows. I type 5, and when I find my bird, I tap on it. You can see all the birds that you have already tallied by switching to the checked view. This is particularly helpful for adding more sightings to species. For example, you saw 3 more grey herons. Just go to the species, and where the count is entered, tap 3 times, and you will notice that the 3 grey herons have been added to the previous 2 grey herons. Another way is to continue typing the count and the species name in the species entry box, and it will get added to the previous tally. For example, I saw a flock of 10 more sparrows. I type 10 followed by the word sparrow, and when I find my species, I tap on it. You will notice that the current count has been added to the previous tally. You will notice that some birds have this icon next to their names. This shows whether a bird is infrequently reported or unreported for that region at that time of the year. By tapping on the species name, you can make changes to the number, the count. You can add notes, and it is important that you add notes for species that are rare or not reported from that area. This kind of documentation is really important. When you're finished birding, tap stop. eBird will ask you if you're done birding. If you're sure, then tap stop track and the app will stop recording your GPS path. Before you can submit the list, eBird will ask you if you're submitting a complete checklist. A complete list indicates that you have identified all species that you heard and saw to the best of your ability. As long as you have listed all species that you could identify, you can click on yes. However, if you're just mentioning the highlights of your birding trip and not reporting all species, then click no. Since the record track option was on when you started the list, the app has automatically selected the type of birding, whether it's traveling or stationary. The duration also has got auto-filled. Here you will see an icon with the name observers. So if you're birding with a friend or a group, you only need to keep one list for the group. To do so, you can change the number of observers, and when you do that, you will see a sharing icon gets activated. When you click on this icon, it will take you to a screen where you have to enter the eBird usernames or the email addresses of the people whom you went birding with. Here, I went birding with Subhadra, and this is her username. Once I have typed the username or email address of that birder, I have to tap enter from my phone keypad. As I entered, the name has come here. Similarly, I also had Shashank with me, and I'm going to type his username and again press enter from my phone keypad. Now I click on done. Once you see this message will be shared with two eBirders, there is nothing more to do on your end. The birders you shared the checklist will receive an email with instructions on how to accept the checklist. If you wish to add any checklist comments, you can add it here. You could document the weather, the habitat you birded with, any other animals you saw, or other fun memories. Now review the list before you click continue. If you find any species which is incorrectly entered or needs to be added, you can always do that. Any species you wish to remove from your list, you can tap on it. Here is an example. I did not see any grey heron, but I accidentally typed it. And to remove it, I just have to remove the count and click on done. By doing so, you will notice that the grey heron has now been removed from my list. Similarly, if I want to make any changes, add details or adjust count, I can again tap on the screen, make changes and click done. Now click continue. The app will take you to a screen where you have to choose location. There are a couple of ways to do this. The simplest is to choose the location from the map. Here you will notice some blue balloons, and as I move the screen, you'll also see some orange balloons. The eBird hotspots are represented as orange balloons, and these are public birding locations created by eBird users. When I say public birding location, it means These hotspots are created by other eBirders, and a eBird hotspot means anybody can go to that spot and start birding. However, the blue balloons are personal locations. They are private locations which only you can see and the people whom you share the checklist with can see. When I say personal location is something like your office or your house or any facility where outsiders are not allowed. If you want to make a new personal location, just find it on your map, zoom it if you want to, and once you find the location, tap on it and you can change the name of the location here. It is always advised to give a name which is relevant to that place. Once you have made changes to the name, you can click on use this location. You will notice that the app has now took this location and you can always edit it if you want to. Click on submit and your checklist will be submitted to that location. However, you need internet connection to submit the list. If you do not have internet connection, then no worries. You can simply close the list. When you close the list will get automatically saved in your phone app in the unsubmitted queue. To see the list, go to the icon here and in the non-submitted queue, you will notice the list that you have just recently closed. It does not matter how many lists are there in the non-submitted list. Whenever you have internet connection, you can submit each one of them. Let's look at other locations. Recent location has your last 50 locations that you have used on eBird mobile. If your current location is from any of them, you can choose from these without the need for data connection. If you're submitting checklist through mobile app for the first time, you will not see any location under the recent tab. Nearby location, the app will use the phone's GPS and data connection to show you a list of all the nearby eBird hotspots and your personal locations. The location automatically created by your device when you started the checklist will appear here at the top of this list. Let's say I'm going to choose the nearby hotspot. Once the location has been selected, all you have to do is click on submit. That's it. You have now successfully submitted your first list in eBird.